The Kagurabachi anime was announced a little bit ago, and I'm sure some of you people who haven't read it are asking a few questions. Is this manga actually good? Will it live up to the hype? Will I die a virgin? Well, the answer to all these questions is yes. Listen, Kagurabachi had anime studios fighting over which one got to animate it. Kagurabachi is going band for band with One Piece. It's losing, but it's still up there, you know what I'm saying? And as a day one bachi bro, I feel like I should tell y'all why Kagurabachi is a masterpiece. Now with this video, I want to talk more about the character work instead of the actual plot points, but there will still be some spoilers in here and there. Our main character, Chihiro Rokuhira, is the son of Kunishigi Rokuhira, the creator of the most powerful weapons to ever be created, the 6 enchanted blades. He forged them to put an end to the Seitai War, and after the war was over, the country was set into peace and Kunishigi was set into hiding. But after Kunishigi is killed and the blades are stolen, Chihiro picks up the 7th secret enchanted blade and swears revenge on the people who killed his father. Alright, now that the exposition's out the way, I gotta talk about the infamous panel, the one that turned a lot of people away from reading the manga.
Every morning when I wash my face and look in the mirror, I see this scar and I remember that day. So every day I start the morning with fresh hatred.
Okay, everyone can agree that is corny as hell, but if you continue to read the manga, this panel gets recontextualized and actually is shown to be a super important piece of characterization for Chihiro. You see, when Kagurabachi came out, a lot of people wrote it off as generic revenge slop and Chihiro as a generic Sasuke clone. They saw the black hair and the red eyes and decided Chihiro couldn't be anything other than a Sasuke clone. But those two characters really are nothing alike. To break it down, Chihiro is a killer, a very good one at that. That man is dropping bodies all the time. Look at the trailer, bro. All he was doing in that trailer was dropping bodies. But his heart isn't in this murder shit. You see, Chihiro's only 18 years old. He's supposed to be a 3rd year in high school, and his life is supposed to be a perfect slice of life anime. He's supposed to be out there going to festivals and studying for college entrance exams, but instead he's out here murdering people because of an impulsive decision he made at 15. And that decision weighs on him. He hates that he's a killer. He hates that he spends all his time murdering people, but his dad is dead, and if he doesn't avenge his dad, who will? Chihiro wishes he was a cold-blooded killer. In fact, he wishes he was a Sasuke clone, because when Sasuke is face to face with his parents' murderer, he's locked in, he knows it's game time. But when Chihiro is face to face with his father's murderer, all he can do is cry out and ask, why did you kill my dad? He's distressed, and he's showing that he's not really built for this. So when Chihiro says he needs his scar to start the day off with fresh hatred, he's not just saying that to be edgy. He's saying that if he didn't have his scar, one day he would wake up, pick up his swords, and then he would put them right back down. And he can't afford that. Someone needs to avenge his father, and the person who should be doing the avenging, Shiba, isn't doing shit. So Chihiro is living his life sad as hell. Someone needs to come in and give him purpose. Enter Char. Char is this little girl who's being hunted by these assassins, and she came around looking for a sorcerer to defend her. And she has said she saw a super powerful blade, i.e. an enchanted blade. Now, Chihiro without a second thought defends this little girl. And this is the first time since his father's murder that Chihiro got to be anything other than a killer. Char let him be a hero. And the opportunity to become a hero again presented itself with Hakuri. Hakuri came into Chihiro's life literally begging for him to be his samurai. Yeah, aye, buddy. I know what you are. But anyway, Hakuri and Chihiro are basically mirror characters in basically every way. Chihiro has black hair, Hakuri has white hair. Chihiro has red eyes, Hakuri has blue eyes. Chihiro comes from a super small, full of love family. Hakuri comes from a giant ass family that fucking hates each other. But I want to continue to talk about that last part. Their families. The amount of love that Chihiro has for his father is the reason this entire manga happened. Chihiro does everything in honor of his father, versus Hakuri, who is doing everything in spite of his father. And despite the completely different living scenarios of both of them, they are both united by one common theme. They have been failed by the adults in their life. Obviously with Hakuri's abusive ass father, who abused all of his children and then in turn caused his children to also become abusive. Kiora Sazanami ruined his children. Kiora messed up his children so bad that Soya Sazanami, Hakuri's older brother, ended up torturing Hakuri his entire life. And I believe that Soya thought he was showing genuine love, because it's not like he would know what genuine love actually looks like. Kiora messed up his children so bad that Tenri ended up dying just so he could prove himself to his father, just so he could prove himself worthy of his father's love. Now with Chihiro, it's a little different. The failures from the adults doesn't come from his father. In fact, despite being pretty isolated, Chihiro had a good childhood. He had his dad, he had his swords, he had his goldfish. What else did he need? The failure comes from Shiba. Shiba's essentially Chihiro's uncle and his guardian ever since his father died. And Shiba essentially allows Chihiro to go on this war path. When Kunishigi died, Shiba was the one who found them. Shiba was the one who realized that Chihiro was going on this path of revenge. Shiba could have stopped it, but he didn't. Like, come on, dog. You could take the fucking sword from him. You don't have to let him become an ore farming Avenger, bro. These are self-admitted failures by Shiba. And these failures from adults are one of the most common things in this series. It being a shonen, of course the MCs are usually pretty young, but all the MCs all have shitty adults backing them. This theme even extends to the villains. This is Hirohiko. He's not the final villain of Kagurabachi, but he's more like Chihiro's personal villain, you know what I'm saying? Ichigo has Okiura, Chihiro has Hirohiko. Those are very hard names to say in succession, bro. But anyway, Hirohiko is the same age as Chihiro, both being 18, and both being weapons of violence. Chihiro is a weapon for his own reasons, but Hirohiko is a weapon for Yura's reasons. Yura is the leader of the Hishaku, the group that killed Kunishigi Rokuhira. And Yura uses Hirohiko as a weapon. Look at Hirohiko right here. This nigga got both his arms snipped off. And then this nigga had to get back in the mix, bro. Like, yes, he wanted to be in the mix, but come on, that nigga not right in the head. You can't be sending him out there. No responsible adult who cares about this nigga's well-being is sending him out there. But Yura's use of the youth doesn't stop there. This is Yuki Sada, another member of the Hishaku, but he's not a combat member like Hirohiko is. He's more of a support class. Yuki Sada is the key for infiltrating this force field on this one base. Now, to become a vessel, the user has to go through a very rigorous process. I'm just gonna read verbatim what it says. For roughly 4 months, they drift in the liminal space between life and death. They lose a number of organs and their reproductive organs. Now keep in mind, Yuki Sada is only 17 years old. This little nigga has no reason to be with the Hishaku besides what Yura has told him. He has no personal beef with the enchanted blade wielders. He wasn't even alive when the enchanted blade wielders were still around. This little nigga is so far gone, he literally says, verbatim, if Yura says something's white, even if it's black, it's white.
Oh my god, bro, is dick riding all you do?
No, I'm
Like,
saying,
you literally got that nigga dick in your mouth right now. I see it.
He's cooked in the brain. And the same shit goes for Hirohiko. Hirohiko probably could have been normal at some point, but Yura fucked him up. Like I said, the theme of shitty adults fucking up the children runs extremely deep in this manga. But speaking of shitty adults, let's talk about Saichi Samura, one of the wielders of the enchanted blades. So Samura is characterized by one major factor, his guilt. He is plagued by the guilt of all the murders that he committed and all the murders that he feels responsible for during the Seitai War. And this guilt leads to the abandonment of his daughter. In fact, it goes beyond just regular low tier god abandonment. Samura erased the world's memory so that the world never knew that he even had a daughter, and that his daughter Iori never knew that she had a father. Now, Iori always knew something was wrong with her life, but she couldn't figure out just what it was. She had plenty of friends, she had her mother, she didn't have a dad, but that never really bothered her. But there was this part of her brain that was just locked away from her, a bundle of happy memories that she just couldn't access. Chihiro and Iori act as parallels to each other. Both of them have pieces of their lives that the other wishes they lived. Iori has that calm, peaceful, normal life that Chihiro wishes he had. And Chihiro grew up with his father, something that Iori wishes she got to do. Samura abandoned Iori because he didn't want her life to be stained by his past as a murderer. In fact, he didn't want her life to be stained by his future as a murderer. But that wasn't Samura's choice to make. It was a choice about Iori's life. That means it's Iori's decision, not his. And to be honest, Iori seems pretty okay with murder, right? I don't know if it was the situation she was in where she just had to be locked in, no time to waste, but she seems pretty okay with murder. She's not personally doing it, but she's okay with it. But that is part of Samura's philosophy. She shouldn't be okay with that type of violence. While Iori was fighting, she wasn't killing anybody, but she was literally slicing people's fingers off. She's only 17. She's a regular high school girl. She shouldn't be okay with that type of violence. Listen, I'm 19. If I slice the nigga's fingers off, do you know what happened right after? I'm folding up. I'm quitting on the spot. I'm not built for that type of violence. You know, we've talked a lot on the heroes. We even covered a little bit of the villains, but let's talk about the true evil villain of this series. The Sword Saint, Akimura Soga. Akimura Soga was the leader of the enchanted blade wielders. Him being the wielder of the Magetsumi, the most powerful enchanted blade. After winning the Seitai War, everyone was happy as hell, everyone was celebrating, but Akimura was a little different. It probably went something like this. Wow, I can't believe we finally won the war. I can't wait to put all this killing behind me and go live with my family happily. What about you, Akimura? What are you gonna do after this? Akimura? You okay? You know, if you kill a child's father, the child will grow up wanting revenge. And every man has come from a woman. So if we really want to snuff out the problem, we need to go to the source. We need to kill every man, woman, and child. And that's exactly what he did. Akimura Soga single-handedly genocided the Mikaboshi clan and killed over 200,000 people. Now keep in mind, he committed this genocide after the peace treaty was signed. Now I'm gonna say it because we're all thinking it. Yes, Akimura Soga is Israeli.
Cucumbers, tomatoes, Israeli salad. Woo!
What I really like about Akimura is despite being completely genocidal, he's not crazy. It's not like he got corrupted by the Magatsumi or anything. He went through a war, the same war that everyone else did, and he alone reached his conclusion. And the way that this affects Chihiro is so interesting. Because it's not like Chihiro didn't know that the swords are weapons of mass murder. He knew that since he was a kid. His father makes it very clear that these are weapons. But his father also makes it clear that they are weapons to protect, not to genocide. So to see his father's greatest creation used like this, it hurts him. And then he's also thinking, damn, my dad really responsible for 200,000 bodies. Damn. So, yeah. I love Kagurabachi a lot. Please read it, and please watch the anime. Subscribe.